Today we're going to talk about subtracting using the numeration pieces. We're going to start out subtracting in base 7. Just a really quick review. Whatever the base is tells me how many pieces I have to trade in. So for base 7, when I get 7 pieces in the unit column, I have to trade it for a long. When I get 7 pieces in the longs, I have to trade it for a flat, and so on. Right? We're going to start out. This video is going to be the takeaway method of subtraction. The next video will be the other two methods of subtraction, but you need to be comfortable with this method of subtraction before we start looking at the others. Right? When we added, if you'll remember, we would build both of the numbers. When we subtract, with the takeaway method, that's not the case. The method itself kind of tells you that, because you are going to take away from what you have here. So we're going to build the top number, and then we are going to begin taking away from the top number. So let's look at the problem. 413 base 7 minus 146 base 7. Just as we do with subtraction on paper, we're going to start over here. I have 3 little unit blocks. My problem tells me that I need to take away 6. Therefore, I can't do it. How am I going to get some more over here? I'm going to take my long, I'm going to move it over here, break it up, and so now I have enough pieces over there to subtract. We'll go back and talk about showing your work in a minute, but let's do a couple first. Right? Now, I can subtract. So I'm going to subtract 6. Right? Now I'm going to move to this column. It said I had 1, but if you remember, we just moved it over there. So now I have 0. I need to take away 4. How am I going to get some to take away? I'm going to borrow from over here. Whoops, I just erased them. That was not a good thing. Let's get them back again. Here we go. All right. I'm going to move one of those over here, break it up. Now, I took one of these, it turned into 7 strips because we're working at base 7. I need to take away 4. Okay. I can take away here. I need to take away 1. So I will take away 1. And there I have my answer. My answer, when I subtract 413 minus 146 base 7, is 2, 3, 4 base 7. Right? And right now we're not worrying about being able to do it without the manipulatives. I want you to have the concept of being able to do it with the manipulatives. Right? Let's try another one. Let's try moving to base 9. So, base 9. And I'm going to build my top number, which is 314. So I'm going to take 3 of my flats. I'm going to take 1 long, and I'm going to take 4 units. That'll work now. No? All right. So I have built 314 base 9. Doesn't look significantly different than base 7. The big difference is how many pieces are in each, like a long in base 9 has 9 pieces, in base 7 it has 7. The flat has 9 strips of 9 in base 9 as opposed to 7 strips of 7 in base 7. But the concept is the same. It doesn't matter what base you're working with, you still have to do the same thing. You still have to move it from the column and ungroup it move it from a column, ungroup it in order to be able to subtract. Right, so let's begin. We're going to start with my units, which has 4. I need to subtract 8. Can't do that, so I will move this one over here and ungroup it. Okay, now, since that was 9 and I had 4, I have 13 there now. We'll talk about that more in a minute, but just making you aware of that. Let's take away 8. Okay, and I have 5 left. Okay. I need to subtract here. I need to take away 7. I do not have any, so I will move this one over here. I will ungroup it. And so now I have 9 strips there. I'm going to take away 7. And I have 2 left. I need to take away 1. And so I do. And therefore my answer to my subtraction problem in base 9 is 1 unit, 2 longs, and a 5 unit, 1 flat, 2 longs and 5 units in base 9. Right? The principle of subtraction works the same. It doesn't matter what base you work with, including base 10, which is our number system. The concept is, if you don't have enough in this column, you go over here and get 1, move it over, ungroup it, and then you can subtract. Right? Now, how does that work? How can we do it without the base 10 blocks or the numeration pieces? Since we have this one up here, let's go ahead and use our base 9. Let's get 314 or 314 again. Okay. And let's take what we did and let's show how it goes into our work. Okay. Use a different color so we can see. All right, what was the first thing we did? We looked at the 4 and said, I've got 4 and I need to subtract 8. I can't do that. What do I have to do? I went over here, I borrowed this one, moved it over, ungrouped it. Okay. So what I've got to do to show that is, what have I got now? Oops. So I think that was going to show up. You think that's dark enough? Okay. All right. I had 1. I moved it over. Therefore, I have 0 left in this column. Okay? I had 4. I moved one of those over, broken up into 9 pieces. So I now have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay? So what I'm doing on my problem is showing what I've actually got with my numeration pieces. Now, how would you know how many to put here? We'll come back to that question. We're going to go up and do it with that one. But think about it. How would I know that this was going to be 13 if I didn't have my pieces there to count? Right? Then I have 13. I take away 8. And I have 5 left, which we already discovered was the correct answer. Right? Now, we'll move to the next column. I have 0 here. I need to take away 7. Can't do it. I have to go over and move 1, ungroup it. Right? So now, let's show again. What have we done? Let me do it with a different color so we can see kind of the individual steps. Now, it says on my paper right now I have 3, but I really only have 2 because I moved 1 and ungrouped it. It says that I had 0, but when I ungrouped it, I got 9. Okay. Now, if I have 9 and I take away 7, I have 2 left. I have 2, I take away 1, and I have 1 left. Right? That's the process of transferring what's being done with numeration pieces to a paper and pencil problem. If you're studying this, I'm more concerned that you can do it with the numeration pieces than that you can do it with paper and pencil. Some of you will be able to figure out both. If you cannot understand this part of it, make sure that you have comprehended this part of it. Right? Just a little extra step for those who are ready for it. I asked a question here. How would I know that a 13 went there? Okay. If I'm in base 9 and I move a strip over, I'm always going to get 9 pieces. Whatever base I'm in, I'm going to get that many pieces. So if I'm up here in base 7, I had 3 pieces. I took this strip and moved it over. When I broke it up, it became 7 pieces. I already had 3, so I would now have 10 pieces. That's how it works. Same thing's going to be true here. Took one of these and moved it over. I now no longer have 0. I have however many pieces I broke up, which because it's base 7, would mean that I would have 7 pieces. And now if I look at my subtraction problem, 10 minus 6 is 4, 7 minus 4 is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. So you can see how that works. Again, for those of you who are studying this, the most important thing to be able to do is to be able to lay it out with the blocks, make the trades, and record the answer. If you can do this, that's good. You will need it next semester, but you don't necessarily need it now. But work on trying to understand that part.